We're almost there. We are now live. What's going on, guys? Welcome into the channel, which is Wade's Ventures. It is a Tuesday. It's funny how I lose track of time when you're reselling sometimes. Guys, welcome in. Amazing amount of people already in chat. Let me say hello to some people here, and then we'll get started. Guys, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, you know the drill, but I'll go ahead and tell you, just in case there's somebody new in chat, we invite amazing talent, amazing reselling talent, really cool people to this YouTube channel that possibly have not been shown off to the world yet. And I've got a really cool guest, one that I've been bugging for a while to come on here. And so we'll go through this. Let me say hello to some people, and then we'll, without further ado, introduce this amazing guy. All right, so Stephanie, welcome in. Moonlight, what's going on, guys? We did a awesome interview with you. You should check that out. Amy, what's going on? Renzi's in the house, guys. Really cool Instagram. I did a little post about them a few days ago. You guys should go check out their Instagram. Keyline Kisses, what's going on? Stitch Witch, always watching. What is going on? Beth, guys, you know Beth is actually like 20 feet away from me. She's my amazing neighbor, which I gotta get with you, Beth, later, because today I ran out of Rolo labels, and I gotta get a stash for 2 more days. Anyways, we'll go over that. But so guys, welcome in to the channel here. I apologize. So much stuff going on. eBay Open is right around the corner. I drafted 60 items today, made them live. My goal is to do another 200 before we leave. So I've been a little busy, but tomorrow, we have a really cool live show. What's going on, Thrifty Santa? If you've not seen his business cards, if you guys are naughty and you're going to eBay Open, get his business card to get a get out of jail free card through a truly talented Santa. Rita, what's going on? All right, guys. So without further ado, this is a guest that we have. I'm excited to introduce to you guys because he has got a YouTube channel, and I'm going to put that in chat periodically. You guys, go check it out. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let the main event introduce himself. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, thanks, Wade. Yeah, we've been trying to do this for a long time. I think we started talking in January about making this happen. But yeah, so my name's Josh. Go by TheKoozCrew on Instagram and YouTube, mostly because I'm a father of 6 kids, and we, as a family, thrift together. And so each of my kids has different parts of it. Now, my 4-year-old doesn't really do much except kind of bug us most of the time and kind of frog around, but different ones of the kids help in different ways. And so we've been reselling. We started about 2016 in December, just kind of on the side, playing around with it, actually to fund an international adoption. That was how we started. And so started doing Amazon and selling books. And then over the last year and a half, have just kind of made it our thing. And in April went full time with our family. And so we are slogging through the summer slowdown in some ways and using that time to like get a lot of stuff up online, go to the beach, hang out. And yeah, and so it's awesome. Been following Wade's adventure. I feel like Wade, we jumped on Instagram right around the same time, or pretty close to it. Cause I feel like you were one of the first guys I was like, okay, this guy's kind of where I'm at, just getting his feet wet, just starting, and everyone else felt like they were miles down the road and knew everything.
So that's funny that you brought that up, because people look at my Instagram and they think I've been on there for years. I literally have only been on Instagram for about a year, maybe a little longer. So it's been a fun ride, and I really respect you, because not only do you have a bunch of kids that, you know, you've got it, and you've got a wife, and you've got a whole family that you got to support. You're going full time. You're recently full time, and I know what that takes to go full time. And I've only got 2 kiddos. So real quick, I want to. Do you mind saying how old everybody is, how old your little guys are, and what roles they play within the business?
Yeah, sure. So. I'll give kind of the 30-second elevator bio. Married my high school sweetheart when I was 18. We've been together for 20 years now. I started dating when we were 13. And so we've been married 16 years, and we have a 16-year-old boy who we just adopted from Ukraine. He's been home since April 14th. And so he's only been here a couple months. And so he's our oldest. And then we have a 12-year-old biological boy. And we have a 10-year-old biological boy, a 7-year-old, she's almost 8-year-old daughter who we adopted from Uganda 7 years ago. a 5-year-old biological boy, and then a 4-year-old girl that we adopted locally through the foster care system here in Maine. So,
Josh, I don't think they get any better than you, buddy. Isn't that amazing?
I don't know about that, man. So,
I you know, I think that's really, really cool. The purpose of these Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday shows is not only to talk about reselling, but you as a person and your family. And I think that's really, really cool. The fact I was on your Instagram, guys, and what's your actual, is it the same? Your Instagram?
Yeah, TheKoozCrew.
Yeah. I was on your Instagram and I believe you're flying down to get your adoption for your 16-year-old, right? And
we had to actually go to Ukraine 3 times. I actually was trying to figure out what to source in Ukraine and to sell on eBay. But I didn't go deep enough to figure out the like import laws and stuff like that. And the stuff that there's actually a lady, if you look up like Ukrainian things on eBay, there's a lady who's killing it in Ukraine, selling these really nice, like flowy kind of dresses. And I thought maybe I could nab them. They're like 60 or 80 bucks on eBay. And I was thinking I could nab them for 20, but no one knocks them down there. They're expensive there too. So yeah, we flew over in January and in March, and then my wife flew over in April to bring them home. So
that's really, really cool. Those of you who don't know, I was actually adopted by my grandparents, not nearly on the scale as that, but it's really cool. There's people out there in the world like you, Josh. I appreciate you. And awesome. I was really interested in your story too, because it's that's kind of when I first started following you, and you got this. You're not only reselling, but then you're flying over to a different country to adopt. So I think that's really, really cool. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your full time, and you're selling on eBay, you're selling on Amazon. Like, my first question is what are you doing to prepare for fourth quarter? Because I want to ask this question because I think everybody in chat knows that your phone blows up, ching ching, and a bunch of different noises during fourth quarter. So what are you doing to prepare for fourth quarter?
Yeah. So I started doing the whole reselling thing on my phone on the Amazon seller app. And I took $100 that I got for Christmas from my mom, because my mom's cool like that and gives us $100 for Christmas, each one of her kids. And I took that and just said, I'm going to buy things that look like they're worth money. And so I started doing merchant fulfilled. And so just buying stuff and flipping it. And last year I got to experience fourth quarter, and it's like a whole nother world. Experiencing fourth quarter in reselling. It's kind of this mixture of like anticipation, excitement. You're kind of like every day as you get closer to Christmas, you're kind of like you were when you were 5, excited for Christmas, but you're kind of excited for different reasons. And so for us, what we're doing right now is we kind of lucked into a large bulk purchase of used outdoor gear, really, like winter jackets, like 150 plus winter jackets, mostly LL Bean, because LL Bean's based here in Maine, North Face Merrell, boots, winter boots. And so eBay wise, and we're kind of just getting into Poshmark, our eBay and Poshmark, we're really loading up on that. So we've been like photographing winter jackets, which feels weird because as you can see, we're in a basement. So like our whole operation is in the basement of my house, plus a 20-foot storage container outside because we didn't have enough room. And so it's weird being down here and like sweating and taking pictures of winter jackets, knowing that that's going to come. So that's our big thing there. And then as far as Amazon, we've now do mostly FBA. And so I've started doing a lot of textbooks right now. Getting into textbook season comes up in the next few weeks. And so been really hitting that hard. That's not necessarily fourth quarter. It's kind of before fourth quarter. But the hope is to roll any textbook money into toys going into Christmas. And so our hope is we're kind of watching stuff right now. I'd love to figure out, what the fingerlings of 2018 is, like every other person in the world, and not figure it out like 2 weeks too late. But so we'll see.
Dude, the fingerlings were amazing. Yeah. And it's here's the thing. So this is going to be my first fourth quarter that I'm full time. And so it was cool last year, but I now have like a little bit different perspective, and it is funny, the fact that you're photographing coats and boots and stuff like that now, But I'm telling you, like before the show, I was telling Josh guys that like I've been selling a lot of jeans the last 2 days. If you look at my eBay store, it's crazy. So I think that right now is the time that you should definitely be listing that stuff, or at least a key thing is people are like, hey, should I list now? Should I not list now? What I like to do, if you're not going to list it, at least photograph it. So that way, when you do need to list it, you just upload the photos and save you time, do title, and then you can ship it off, make a new listing. But so what does the wife think when you were like, hey, I'm going to be going, because you guys have been together for a very long time. By the way, that's rare to find high school sweethearts still together. So kudos to you guys. Like, but what did she think of you going full-time reselling? Like, what was her reaction?
So I've kind of been a serial entrepreneur in some ways. At 18, I started a video production company, photography company. Early 20s, did a carpentry business. My dad's a pastor, and so I've kind of grown up in the church, and my faith's really important to me. And so at 27, I actually planted a church. And so most people don't think about that, but every church had to start somewhere. And so we started a new church, 7 years ago in a couple towns over, and grew that and served there and ministered there up until April. And so we're still part of that church and still attend there. Just kind of, I brought it to the point as far as my giftings and my calling and how I'm wired as far as I could. And so for us, we were kind of looking at everything and looking at what could I do. When I started in January or in December of 2016, the goal was more about raising extra money to adopt internationally because it's very expensive. And so I was just flipping stuff to raise money for an adoption. And then it kind of became fun and our kids started doing it. And so, my 12-year-old has his own eBay store where he just sells video games. And so he just sources, well, I should say legally, it's my eBay store that he runs, because you can't have an eBay store at 12. But so he runs that. And so he's going to go to the bins with me pretty soon and start cleaning out the bins for video games. And he does yard sales and stuff. And so I think it's been tough in some ways because I don't know about you, but I was out of the house. And so my wife had her routine with the kids, and now me being home is, there's a stepping on the toes and there's that kind of stuff that you run through. But we work through that, but I think there's benefits. There's benefits to doing it. And so I think she's crazy sometimes. She likes that I'm getting a space because I bought, last year I bought out a book sale. And I had in our dining room like 3,000 books, 2,000 books everywhere for about 3 weeks as I processed them. And so those were frustrating times for her, but I've kind of been able to figure it out and scale a little bit. And we've got a storage container out in our driveway now where I put everything out there. And so, so she'd probably say I'm crazy sometimes. And, but I think, it's been good. It's been great to have the kids here. We got a lot of used shoes. So we've been processing shoes, cleaning shoes. And my kids, one day I came downstairs and 3 of my kids had the shoe cleaning stuff out and were cleaning sneakers. My 4-year-old and my 10-year-old and 7-year-old were cleaning sneakers. Now, I don't think they probably accomplished much and those shoes probably weren't very clean, but it was just the fact of being able to do that. And we're teaching them about money. We're teaching them about work ethic. We're teaching them about, I think one of the biggest things in reselling is customer service. We're teaching about customer service and people and the value of people in life, and that we're not just here to sell a product, but we're here to deliver something to someone, and we want them to be happy and we want their life to be better. And so it's much more holistic than just trying to make a dollar here or there for us. So, I saw a question I meant to answer, but I was going to type it. I wouldn't be able to talk. So I use Scout IQ for books. So Caleb Roth is a brilliant, and he knows everything about books. And so if you're going to do books, you got to get onto Scout IQ. In my opinion, it's by far the best stuff. I've been on it since beta about a year ago. So it's definitely worth the investment. So
what is, you mentioned a while ago that you're going to take your little guys to the Goodwill bins. Well, how's the process there in Maine for the Goodwill? Like for us, you stand in front, they do 3 bins each, 6 total, and then you can go in. So what's the process there over where you're at?
So I've actually never been to the bins. So all that I've done, I've never been to the bins, so I actually don't know. I've got a couple people, Ryan and Lindsay, really good friends of ours. They live about 45 minutes. I saw them in the chat. They do a lot of shoes, and they started at the bins, and so they've talked a lot about it. And then I got a guy who works with me part-time on Instagram, Maniac Reseller, and he does bins, and so we've just been talking about it. One of the reasons I haven't done the bins is because I primarily, for Amazon, I do a lot of books, and Goodwill's in New England, they run their own Amazon. So all their books are already scanned and sent into Amazon. So there's not as much chance of getting stuff for me. Now, I do a lot of other stuff with eBay, but I've had a lot of stuff to source. I haven't really needed to go to the bins at this point. So
That's interesting that they do their own Amazon.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Goodwills of Northern New England run their own Amazon. You can find books every now and then that slip through, but they actually, I know someone who works for them, and he said they actually have now hired, I think, 2 or 3 people just to run their Amazon wing of their books. So they're doing pretty well.
Wow. I think that's going to be more common theme.
I know, Santa. I've never been to the bins. I need one of those cards.
I know, Santa. All right, real quick, Josh. We got. I think we need to show the people this, right?
Yeah, the card is great, man. I saw that.
Yeah, let me see if it shows up. Okay, so guys, by the way, Thrifty Santa Barry is going to be in Las Vegas. I'm actually going to be flying down Sunday to go a little early, do a little sports betting. But Barry he sent me this card. He texted me this card, and I'll try to see it where you can see it here. Basically, it has this information that says 1 free get off the naughty list card below, and then his caption or his message after that was, I'm sure a lot of people will be needing this get out of the naughty list after leaving Vegas. And so I set that out, and everybody was like, hey, give me one of your cards, Barry. Really cool. So Josh, how are you? Real quick, we try to get nuggets on this show every once in a while. How are you cleaning your shoes? Is there a certain technique that you do to clean the shoes?
So, I actually have a guy who does it for me. So, if you really want to know how to clean shoes, Rinzi now knows how to clean shoes. They cleaned hundreds of pairs of shoes, and so we bought a kit off of Amazon called, I think it's called Reshoevnator. And from what we've gathered, it's all in the brushes. And so it's more about how good your brushes are and what brushes you're using. But yeah, so we use Dawn soap, and we do it right in the sink. We have one sink where we clean the shoes, and then one sink where we rinse them off. We put them outside to dry, and then we photograph them. So we try to cap our time to about 7 to 8 minutes per pair so that it's profitable, because if you spend too much time, and most of the shoes we're only selling for $20 to $25 max, but people buy them. And yeah, especially dress shoes. We clean up dress shoes, a little differently. We'll use shoe polish, and we spend a little more time, but those go really well. So, but I actually don't do a lot of the shoe cleaning. One of the things that kind of in my background is I'm pretty good at like team building and stuff like that. And so I've kind of built a team of a couple people who do part-time. And so they've become really good at some of that stuff. Yeah, so you have Rinzi on sometime, and they can give you the shoe cleaning tutorial. As they said, they've cleaned thousands of shoes, quality brush and dish soap. So we started with a toothbrush, and we realized real quick that was not going to work.
The funny thing is, guys, is I think all of us started with a toothbrush. Like, if anybody in chat not start with a toothbrush when you clean your shoes, let me know.
Yeah, we just air dry them outside, Adam. We just leave them out in the sun and let them air dry.
So, Josh, if you can sell one thing on eBay or Amazon, money wasn't an issue. What one item are you passionate about if you could sell, and money wouldn't be an issue online?
Man, that's a tough question. So I'd say, I would love to be able to get into some really cool, fun private label stuff. But I don't even know what that item would be. So I would say at this moment, I would say textbooks, just because there's a lot of money there. And I think it's fun to try to get textbooks, and that whole game of trying to find books is quite an adventure and fun. Sneakers are fun, but I feel like for me at least, it's not like a passion. There's some people who just love sneakers and get it. If the numbers work on a pair of sneakers, I'll buy them to sell, but I'm not sitting there like, oh man, these are awesome. Some people just get it and love that. But yeah, probably textbooks at this point would be what I'd go for. It's pretty boring, but it's one of those things I feel like is needed at this point. But it's going to go, I don't think textbooks will be around in 15 years. I think they're going to go a lot more digital. And so it's not longevity. I don't know if it's going to be there. So
I would agree. You know, it's crazy how like the world changes, right?
Yeah.
You got to take advantage of like in the niche, in the time. I think being in the right place, right time is a huge part of success. Guys, Pac-Man is putting Josh's YouTube channel up. He's already got a number amount of videos. Highly recommend you guys join, but you guys know what happens. You click, you subscribe. Let me know what number you are so I can shout you out. I think a few other people did place numbers here. We have Swamp, number 25. Welcome in, buddy. Subscriber number 25. Tanya, 23. Let me scroll up and see if I missed anybody. Stitch Witch, 14. Gina, amazing Gina, number 11. Pac-Man, number 8. So, Thrifty Santa, number 10, guys. So go subscribe to their YouTube channel. Good stuff. Hey, so everybody talks about summer slowdown. I'm curious, what are like a couple of things that you're doing to kind of amp up your sales during this time?
Yeah, we haven't really felt a summer slowdown. Have you felt it, Wade? Or I feel like I haven't really felt it.
No, honestly, like sales have been, I think one key of the summer slowdown for us is the fact that we, or at least I've noticed that like last year, I did probably have a little bit of it only because I was part-time and I wasn't like consistently listing.
Yeah.
I find that so clothing is definitely a little slower. If you're doing all clothing, I'd recommend the remedy for summer slowdown would be to chicken scratch and list every single day. So get a whiteboard and keep yourself accountable and just do steady listing. So that way you're doing, quantity. And another tip probably would be if you do close and you're okay with doing hard goods. I feel that hard goods do a little bit better during summer. At least they do for me. So maybe mix it up in your store, but it's definitely consistent listing. And I think that not only for the eBay algorithm, but the simple fact is it's a numbers game. The more items you have, the more eyeballs are going to see it, the more sales you'll get. So not just the algorithm, which is within eBay, but then also just a numbers game in general. But I wanted to bring that up because I know that was one of your videos on your YouTube channel. So
yeah, and I think I would say that's the same thing for us. It's just listing, and I feel like you can hack the algorithm in some way. And then I think kind of branching out some, like you said, if you're doing just clothes, then maybe like hit the clearance section at Walmart and see if there's anything of. I mean, I had a grand slam yesterday at the clearance section at Walmart. I picked up, I don't know if I put it on Instagram or not. I think I may have, but there was phones, Boost mobile phones for $5 a piece. And there was 13 of them. And our Walmart only allows you to buy 2 at a time. And I think it's a state rule. I have no clue why, but let's just say I bought 11. Took me a couple friends and a kid, one of my kids. But we bought 11, listed them on eBay at $55 a piece, and within an hour someone bought all 9 at $53 a piece. So my buy cost was $45 and my sell was $459. So like, I don't sell phones, I don't sell cell phones, but I saw it, grabbed it, and was like, this looks like it's worth money. So I'd feel like for summer slowdown, you can't sit there and go, well, I'm a t-shirt guy, I just sell t-shirts. You gotta, unless you're just selling so many t-shirts, you're killing it. I would definitely echo what you said, Wade, and try to venture out into different categories and different, different things. Even be thinking outside the box. Like for us, we've sold some stuff on Facebook Marketplace lately, stuff we weren't going to use just to kind of make extra money, And so I think there's some opportunity there to be able to cross-post stuff. And then for me, if there's a summer slowdown, I think the biggest thing is if you're sitting there going, man, sales are slow, like I would just say take that time and just list more. Whatever time you're not shipping, list more. Because Q4 is going to be here. You know, people are going to start. If you go to Walmart, back to school's already there. Like, people are already going to be looking for back to school stuff. So if you're able to sit there and go like, okay, I only sell clothes. Well, how can you sell clothes for kids going back to school? Yeah, 10% off is not clearance price. That sucks. Sorry, Adam.
Guys, I still go to Walmart a lot. And here's the thing, two things. Like, one thing about, I was always like, when I first started, one of the mistakes I made when I first started reselling was I was like, I'm only an eBayer. I only want to eBay. That's it. I'm eBay. Like, that's it. I love eBay, and I still love eBay. But I think that's equally important to probably join Amazon. It's super easy. So that way, when you go to Walmart, you're not only spending time finding items for your eBay, but you're also finding items for your Amazon and or Poshmark or whatever other platforms you're on. Because you want to maximize your time. At least for me, that's what I want to do. So if I go to a location, I want to be able to like hit all the merchandise in the area, find out what direction I want to go, i.e. platform, and then buy it, sell it, and make that money. I think that's really cool in the cell phones. The second thing is I bought, don't laugh, but I bought a bunch of horse worm medicine back in the day from Walmart, of all places, in the clearance section. And so here's the thing: it says horse worm medicine flies off the shelves on both eBay and Amazon. Yet it was been sitting in my Walmart for like a while. And so I went to the department manager and I was like, hey, I'll buy this, but I'm only making, I actually pulled up the Amazon app, showed them exactly how much I'll make. And I was like, I just can't do this with fees and everything else. And so she went to the store manager. And this is when I first found out that Walmart has a scanner. Every store manager has it. And they'll scan the item and they know what Walmart bought it at from the manufacturer, which is crazy to me that they can scan it and the store manager can tell me, hey, we bought this from the worm medicine place for $3 a tube. Anyway, so I guess my point here is I found merchandise. I could have bought it at that price, but then took a stab at it and I was able to get a better deal through the store manager. And I've noticed too, guys, like, don't bypass the department manager, just go to the store manager. Because I noticed at Walmart, at least at ours, the department manager almost has more say than the store manager. Not more say, but like over their own department. Like, they know their own merchandise. And so I got the buy-in of the department manager, and then they went to the store manager for me and was able to make it happen. So
I think that's huge. I have, unfortunately, the head of our clearance, there was a lady who was full-time in the clearance section at our Walmart, and that's all she did. And she got moved, but I would do the same thing with her. I would sit there and I'd say, I bought this tanning lotion and they wanted $5 a bottle and there was like 40 bottles. And I said, listen, I could do $1.50 a bottle. And she said, I could come down to $2. And I bought them all and they were selling on Amazon at $15 with, for a $10 profit each. And so just ask them. Now there's not anyone there. So it's really unfortunate. I have to go to each department manager if I find like an electronics. I used to bundle stuff pretty much is what I would do. I'd say, hey, your shelves are pretty full. I'll take all of these. What else do you need to get rid of? She would literally say, I would like to get rid of all of that there. And I'd say, well, I can buy all of that, but I got to get it for 50 cents a piece. And she'd be like, okay, we can do that. So I'm hoping they replace her soon.
All right. So tell me, like, how has reselling changed your life for you and your family? And the reason I ask this question is I want to know, like, we've all had, or most of us have had 9-to-5 jobs. We've had bosses and corporate companies pop out time every single day. How has reselling changed your life for your family? Like, how's it made you a better person in general?
Yeah, I think my first thought is I look at everyone's clothes and wonder how much they're worth and if they'd sell it to me. And everything around. So I think that's one thing. That's probably not the real question you're getting at. So I think we probably all do that to some extent. But I would say the biggest thing for me is it's been extremely, as a father of 6 kids, between 4 and 16, it's been a lot of fun for me to watch them engage in this and like see the whole process and kind of understand finances and understand, like, they're actually seeing it. Whereas when I went to work, I would go to work and I'd get a paycheck and I'd pay the bills I have to pay. And now there's like, it's conversation. Like, my kids found, LOL surprise dolls, and my kids like, I want this. And I'm like, okay. And I was able to talk through a lesson. Like, I get that you want this, but we paid money to buy this. And like, if we can sell it, then that gives us money to pay for our electricity, our food, all those things. Now, for a 10-year-old, they kind of can wrap their mind around it. A 4-year-old or a 5-year-old's like, I just want the LOL surprise doll, Dad. But I think for me, it's just been fun to do that because, I think one of my things I'm not good at is kind of work-life balance. I haven't historically been good at it. I'm a workaholic. I think a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, especially in the reselling game, are workaholics. And then we have a lot of guys, Gary V type guys who, I love what they say, who push that, but I think what can happen is we can kind of lose the big picture. Like, why are we doing this? Like, I enjoy this reselling, but really what I'm doing is to provide for my family so that I can raise children to love other people, to serve their community, to be contributing members of society. And so if I can't kind of bring them into that. And so for me, all of it's really lessons and opportunities for them to grow, to build relationships with store managers. And so just a lot of those pieces. And so for me, I just love it because I get to be around them. It's also a pain in the butt because I'm around them. So, but you know how that is.
Oh yes. It's funny, guys. If you work with your family every single day, you love them to death, but you know how that goes sometimes. But I think that's really cool because you are able to separate. I think when you're reselling, like the other day, I'm able to go swimming with Kate and Ashley, where before at that time block I wouldn't have been able to. So, with anything great like reselling where you can kind of set your own schedule and stuff like that, you still have to be a little bit responsive, but still able to spend a ton of time with your family. And I wish that there was one thing that I did, guys, was for a while there I was making a lot of money, and if I wanted a Nike shirt, I would buy a Nike shirt. I wish, like, back when I first started when I was younger, that I would have okay, I can get that same Nike shirt, same condition on eBay for $20 less, then spend like an extra $20. So for years and years and years, I would just buy at retail when I wish I would have been able to buy the same item discounted and be a little bit more price conscious, So that's one thing that I kind of want to instill. You can buy that same soap or that same cologne somewhere else just cheaper and save that money, and it makes your life so much easier. So I think that's really, really cool.
I kind of grew up, my mom I used to make fun of my mom because she bought everything at Goodwill and was always at Goodwill and was like she still will bring me stuff and be like, hey, I found this brand, I think it's really worth a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, that's a super great brand. She finds stuff like that all the time. And so I kind of grew up with that and always made fun of her and went the other way and was like, I'm not ever buying stuff from there. And now it's all we buy. It's like, why would I go spend all this money when I can thrift an entire outfit for $6?
Guys, everybody in chat, let's be honest with ourselves. I'm curious.
Yes, we are turning into our parents.
Yes. Anybody in chat, including myself, that was like, ew, I don't want to go to Goodwill, and now you love. I get a natural high when I go into the Goodwill bins, and the first thing I look at is not the clothes, but like the VHS tapes and all that area. But guys, is there a bunch of you guys that used to hate the idea of shopping at Goodwill and now you absolutely love it? Like, be honest. Let me know in chat. I'm curious. But
yeah.
So Josh, tell me. My next question is I like to ask this question because I want to know what social media, how has social media helped you in your reselling game? So how has networking within social media? Did you meet Renzi through social media? And other people. How's that helped you?
Yeah. So the first up until probably May, I knew nobody in Maine other than 2 local people that were just friends of mine, kind of dabbling in it, that resold or did anything like that. And so all my connections were through Instagram. And Instagram on a lonely night is like a is like a, I don't know, I don't even know where the end of that story goes. Fill in the blank, I guess. But you know, when you're, because that's the reality of this, is it can become pretty lonely. You know, people give you returns and you're frustrated about it. You don't have anyone to go to. You know, your wife doesn't get it. Maybe, you know, my 4-year-old can't understand. So for me, Instagram was like a savior in a lot of ways, connecting with people on there. And I met Lindsay through Brian and Lindsay through, they geo tagged a delivery they did, because they started out by delivering shoes 50 miles from their house for free delivery of shoes 50 miles from their house. And so I'm about 30 minutes away. So they delivered shoes to my town, and they tagged the town that I live in their Instagram story. And that's how I saw them. And I'm like, what the heck are these people doing delivering shoes? I'm like, they got to be a scam. There's no way this is legit. Like, you can't make money. Like, I knew the numbers. I'm like, they sold these shoes for $50. Like, there's no money in this. And so we just started connecting, and we interact pretty much every day. We got a few group text messages going back and forth. And so that's how I met them. I mean, that's how I connected with you, connected with a lot of different people through that way. You know, and it's a weird world where you can like call people friends that you've never interacted with due to social media, but like you celebrate with them when they have children, you celebrate their joys, you weep with them when they cry. You know, when I saw you going into the hospital last week, it's like, oh man, what's going on? I know he's got a little baby. Hope nothing's wrong with the baby. So you kind of have this whole world on Instagram that's really real. And you know, if you're ever in Maine, I know I was listening to you last week. Actually, I was able to meet Brandon through I didn't even know he was up here. On what mainly flips. You had him on last week, I think. I didn't even know he was up here. Met him. We've been chatting, but I heard you say lobster. So if you're here, man, we'll get beer and lobster when you come out. So,
dude, I love me some lobster. That's one reason I love going to Vegas too. They don't have lobster like you guys, but it's like, you know, buffets. Oh, yeah. The community, I couldn't echo that any more than you did. Like I like to ask that question because I really want to get to know our guest on here, and I think that this community is amazing. I like Barry texted me on my phone his business cards, and you know, and I think that it's a web effect. So I introduce you to somebody, and then that person will introduce you to somebody, and eventually, possibly, it can lead into good business dealings and friendships. So I think it's really, really cool. We've got such an amazing chat over here. I'm looking over here, guys, and I just want to thank every one of you guys. And real quick too, I know that Josh, you're not going to eBay Open this year. Do you think you may entertain it next year?
I might. It depends. I guess it depends where things are. Like, yeah. I kind of look at it and like, well, you're all at eBay Open. I'm going to be listing 100 items a day. So
the money.
Enjoy. Because your algorithms are going to tank and mine's going to shoot up. So.
Oh yes. I said that on Instagram, and I like, guys, don't worry if you're not going, because you're gonna be crushing it. I promise you. All right. So Josh, do you have any websites or anything that you do that you think helps you with your reselling game? Like, you know, I know Scout IQ, but do you have any like nuggets or anything like that you know, on your daily life, you know, kind of helps you with reselling both on Amazon, Poshmark, and eBay?
Yeah, I would say, for me, I'd say kind of two things. One, in the book, if you're interested in like book selling, booksalefinder.com. Literally, like you type in you click on your state and you can find where book sales are. And so book sales are, you know, some are very small. They're little, you know, 1,000 books that grandma and grandpa set up in the local library to raise money, and you buy some cookies and you get no books. You maybe buy a book for your kid or whatever. And some of them are, you know, I've shown up to book sales an hour and a half early and been the third guy in line. And by the time the book sale started, there was 50 people in line, and it's a race to the certain section. So I think if you're interested in books, that's a huge space. I would say for me, a lot of like, this is kind of going a little off script, I guess, but I think it answers the question is, what I do outside of reselling informs and impacts my reselling. So like for me, it's daily disciplines of like silence and solitude and a day of rest each week and physical activity and being with my family. Like those things for me are what enable me to kind of keep going and doing it, because it can become all consuming, especially with this thing right here and every notification in the world. Like it's really good to shut your notifications off for a day and just not worry about, in my opinion, and not worry about it, like to be really present with your kids. And so for me, that would be, I guess, I don't know if it's not a website, it's not a resource, but like I have a pretty strong daily routine of I get up, I spend time, for me as a Christian, I spend time reading and praying. For different people, it can be whatever it is, but it's just time to kind of center where I'm at and figure out, okay, what is the purpose of today? What am I doing? And that's not like a 3-hour thing. It's just a short window of time, spend time with my kids, and then I can get into work and feel like, you know what, I've got the things that have to be right. And now I can go do the rest of it. And then for me, once a week, I gotta shut, the notifications off. I don't always do it, but to be with my kids and like play Legos or go swimming or watch a game or something like that, and not be sitting there going like, oh, I need to counter this offer. So for me, that's a huge help to help me do it, because I think it can become all consuming and you just burn out.
Oh yeah.
That's probably not the common recommendation. Most people would do that.
Like, that's one thing that we did on you guys looked, I think a few videos ago on the YouTube channel. I had a bunch of guests over, Side Hustle Pros, and the list goes on, really cool people. And I asked them that same question to kind of see like how they react daily. And a good portion of them obviously was, you got to keep your body right. You got to be healthy, spend time with your family, emotionally be there. So I think that's huge. And one thing that I need to do, and then I did a little bit of when I went full time, that helped me was you can put a list of stuff that you do, because everybody somehow has the same tendencies. So you can put a list of stuff that you do daily before you made this goal. Like I wake up, I brush my teeth, I watch an hour of, whatever show, and then, what you do. And then on the side note, write what will make you money, or what will make you a better person, or what will help you in your reselling game and your family. I think that you got to get something, you have to give something. So maybe cut out that hour of TV and like a block of time for something else. Find what actually will benefit you the most. I guess the main thing here is just to rank what you do best and what will help you, and then everything else that's lower will stay below. Farm Girl Scavenger, hey everyone, smash the like button for Wade. You didn't have to do that, but thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I will be, she was my first interview ever, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays I've ever had, and we'll be in Vegas together. We've met each other in real life already, so I will see you in Vegas in less than 5 days. I really appreciate the super chats. Thank you so much, Noel. You're amazing. All right, so Josh, let's get into this haul, buddy. You have a few things. That you want to show us, and before we go to that, super chats are flying right now, Josh.
That's awesome, man.
Stephanie, thank you. Thanks for all you do, Wade. I really appreciate it. Honestly, like I said, I truly mean this. I would not be nearly the person I am without you guys. It's not only changed my reselling, but kind of outlook of how I do daily stuff. I mean, I feel like I'm a part of your guys' life. Like Josh was saying, sometimes I spend way too much time on Instagram creeping on you guys. And I do a lot of creeping. And so I just appreciate every one of you guys. And this YouTube channel's a platform in which I can use to further our relationship. And we've had so many people on here. And so like Josh is on here, Resell Remedy was on here. So many really cool people has been on the show. So I appreciate every one of you guys.
Yeah, but Wade, thanks for all the work you do on this, because man, you're the soundtrack of a dull listing day so often for us. Like you're just kind of playing, and me and the guy, whoever's in here helping, it's like, oh, who's Wade got on today? And we're just listening and picking up nuggets. And so but I know it takes a ton of work. Like most of the people you have on have, some YouTube, but like me, I have like 6 videos, and it's like one of those things I'll do someday. But I always love when someone's like, I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to consistently do it, and I don't care what gets in the way. So kudos, man.
I appreciate that. It's been a very fun ride. Like YouTube guys, like I'm a big fan of documenting your journey on YouTube if you can, but it does take a lot of back end work, but I highly recommend everybody to do it. And Josh, I keep putting his link below. He does have a lot of videos, and the main thing with YouTube, I think, is there's hurdles, right? There's stairs that you need to step. So I recommend everybody join YouTube. And if you're shy about being public and making yourself public, you can always do this privately. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think it's really cool to make YouTube not for reselling, but also for your family. Like, God forbid if something happened to me tomorrow, I have almost 100 videos that my kids will be able to watch of their dad, you know. And so not only for reselling, but for personal, you can make it private. And but the hurdles on YouTube, if you really want to be successful, is 1 to 100 followers, and then 100 to 1,000. And once you get past that, it really like elevates your content. You can meet so many really cool people. I get a lot of people that message me now. So I just recommend everybody, even if you're day one, brand new to reselling, start a YouTube channel up. And even if you make it private, you can still document your journey. And I appreciate it, Hip Flippin' Mama. I will see you in Vegas as well. Hip Flippin' Mama is amazing. She sent me as you guys know, I'll be doing some YouTube videos in a ramen outfit. She sent me the pants to the ramen outfit, guys. Like, that's how amazing this community is. And she sent Axel a ramen bib that I need to show you guys too, which is really, really cool.
My 16-year-old just walked in and couldn't figure out what was going on.
Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet
you. Zhenya.
Yeah.
Yes, I know very, very little. It's actually no. Okay, Ukrainian and Russian is different language entirely, right?
Both Russian and Ukrainian.
Okay,
right.
I know a little bit. Josh, do you know any by chance?
No. Счастливого Різдва means Merry Christmas.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
I know a little bit more, but we're trying to get him to learn English, right, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, he's wearing a good t-shirt. I like Boston.
Yeah, he's a Bruins fan, so.
Yes, me too. 3 hours every day t-shirt.
Oh, he's learning on YouTube. He said he's spending 3 hours every day learning on YouTube, so.
See? Dude, this is what it's all about. This is what reselling's all about. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you could have done it. Like, you probably could have, but like the fact that you went full time and you know, adopted an amazing kid, it's just really, really cool. I don't know. Stephanie, and gosh, Stephanie, you're crushing me over here with these super chats. You've changed lives. Thank you for bringing my mom on. You're more than welcome, Stephanie. Your mom was amazing, by the way. We got to have her back on. I would love to do the Brady Bunch style and have a bunch of my interviews back on. Just I'll sit back and do nothing. You guys can talk and talk reselling, talk shop, but really, really cool. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that though. I thank you much for the super chats. I really do. But you guys are amazing. So, so Josh, this is your interview, buddy. What have you purchased recently that you can show us? I know that you have a stack of books you want to show us, right?
Yeah. So textbook season starts in a few weeks, and pretty much textbook season is when everyone's going back to school and anyone who's in the book business tries to stock up. And so here's just a random stack of books that are going to Amazon. There's nothing special about any of these. I actually don't know if any of these are textbooks, but they are all, so I use Scout IQ for anyone who wonders. You can set up triggers, and it has some really awesome algorithms built in to tell you what rank it is on Amazon, how often it sells in the last 6 months. So it pretty much has triggers, and it tells me if I want to buy the book or if I want to not buy the book. And then I use another program called Resellers to scan them in to Amazon and to save them there. And so these are textbooks. I think the total value on this pile right here, actually I could pull up the tab. It's going to be, so it's 13 products, and the total profit will be about $240. So my buy cost was about 20 bucks. So,
wow. And
I don't know if you can see stacks over there going to Amazon, and then I have a box over there that's going to Amazon, and I shipped one yesterday. So right now, is when if you do books, you're sending books in, you're trying to find book. I mean, I literally tonight put a post on my private, my personal Facebook page saying, if you have textbooks, I'll buy them. So, and if anyone on here wants to sell me textbooks, I'll take them. hit me up on Instagram. All I need is an ISBN number. I'll PayPal you the money and even ship them to myself. So my Instagram is TheKoozCrew, KOOZCREW, TheKoozCrew. So
Josh,
same as my YouTube name.
You say you go to a lot of these book sales, right? What was the website again, by the way?
I'm pretty sure it's Book Sale Finder. Yeah, booksalefinder.com. And it's pretty ghetto. There's actually the guys who make Exceller List and a couple other websites are coming out with a new one that's going to be way better. But yeah, so you can literally find on there, like you could click on Oregon and see where a local book sale is and go to it. So
now I'm assuming that you've had, by the way you were saying, the mom and pop selling books, there's a lot of cookies and milk. Is that what happens over there in Maine?
So there's some book sales. So I went to a book sale this weekend in New Hampshire, actually. And, I got there 40 minutes early to get in line. It was going to be about 7,000 books. And the ladies were like, oh, come on in. Just come look through the books. I'm like, well, I'm a bookseller. I don't want to, cut line. I want to be. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. And they're like, here's the cookies we made. And come to find out, this little town already sells all their own books on Amazon. So they'd already scanned everything. So there was nothing of value for me. So I ended up buying dairy-free, I think it was dairy-free, gluten-free, flavor-free banana bread. And then I picked up a couple books just for the heck of it. So it wasn't the most profitable book sale, but the one I went to the night before had 30,000 books, and I walked away with about $1,200 worth of books. So for about $100 or $150. So it all just depends. All depends on where you're at and what you're doing. So yeah, so that'd be the first thing. I'm really like buying books like crazy right now. All my extra money, anything I'm selling that I can get money in, I'm investing in books. So book sales, private, Facebook, I buy them on Facebook, buy them from people locally. I've actually worked, I had a college kid on commission last year, and I bought him the scouting app, and he was buying books from his classmates and making 25% commission on the sale price. And so I would PayPal him the money, and he would buy the books from his classmates. And pretty much I told him the lower you get the book for, the more money you make. So he was working deals, and he's now in the process of going full-time on eBay. So.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was a bombshell. Guys, I said this before, like I'm doing, when I create graphics to sell on Amazon on t-shirts, I was actually going to get college students to do it, and then I would pay them, and I've never heard of that for books. Yeah. That is smart. That is smart.
If you got any college kids out there that want to make some money, let me know. I'd love to talk to you.
Wow. Guys, this is why we do this show. Yeah. I haven't thought about that. How are you how are you cleaning these books? Tell me, I sell you a book, what happens next?
So if I buy a book, I don't really clean it. I just leave it, unless there's a price tag on it. So this book is on knots, tying knots. So it's super, actually I was able to get 5 copies of it. And so what I do is I take the books and I grade the book. So Amazon has really clear grading guidelines, new, very good, acceptable. And so I grade the book, and like this book is pretty much new, but I'll put it as good. Then I put it into my software, and my Dymo prints out a sticker, and I'll put a sticker right on here. I stick it in a box, ship it to Amazon. You don't shrink wrap. I don't clean books. Some people clean them up. I'll take price tags off of them, but even if there's if it says used textbook on it, I just leave it. I don't worry about it. When I first started, I scraped every book. I had a heat gun out. I was cleaning it. I was using Goo Gone and wiping every book down. I will pull, if they have tabs inside of it, notepads, I'll pull that out. Post-it notes and things, I'll pull those out. But I try not to spend a lot of time on them, because usually it's just a college kid if it's a textbook buying it, and they don't actually care what it looks like. So, yeah. So I noticed that you're shipping all those books to Amazon, yet you have an Amazon box back there. Don't you love buying Amazon, keeping the boxes, keeping the shipping? Yeah. I mean, I have a whole bag of dunnage stuff people give me. People will bring their. I got home one day and there was about 30 empty Amazon boxes sitting on my porch. They hadn't even been torn down, and I just use them all the time. So
now, do you have you said that your mom, right? She gives the kids $100. does she ever find things for you to sell? Like, does your extended family know you're full-time reselling? Do they ever try to give you stuff to sell?
My sister-in-law from Florida actually texted me today a picture of a bag that she got from someone as a gift and didn't want, so she wants me to sell it for her. So my other sister-in-law lives in Tennessee and is a school teacher, so she's over the summer been reselling, and I've been helping her kind of navigate that. So I think it goes the other way more so, though. I don't know if this is true for you, but I find random things that I know my family will love all the time, and I buy random things for them. So like, I have one sister-in-law who loves Disney, and I was able to find like a Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse matching cup, and I was able to you know, get them for like $1 a piece. And I could have sold them. They were worth like 20 bucks, but I'm like, she's going to love this. I just gave it to her. So I think it goes that way a lot too. So Santa, I actually don't put anything. I stack them really tight together. I guess they could rub together, but I've never, I mean, I've probably sent in 3,000 books in the last year, and I've never had a complaint on it. So I just stack them all together and try to stack them as tight as I can. I try to make sure if I shake the box, they're not moving around at all, because I don't want them to rub together. But I never really thought about that. So,
Josh, I need to have you on live more often. I mean, this super chat is blowing up tonight.
Do I get commission on that, or how's that work?
You should, because you are crushing it. You are crushing it. We're gonna have Josh on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, guys. Now, Stephanie, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you so much for the support.
Thank you, Stephanie. So we got Wade. I have an idea. What we should do when you get back from eBay Open is I'll come on, but I'm gonna flip the script and I'll interview you on your channel.
What do you guys think of that, by the way? Do you guys think I should be interviewed? I'm not very exciting. That's why
no, you're probably more exciting. It's that you haven't been asked the right questions yet.
What do you guys think? Should Josh give me an interview on my own channel? I think that would be epic. Has never probably been done yet. And I'm a big fan of doing stuff new for the first time. That would be amazing. What kind of questions would you ask me, Josh?
See, I'd have to think about it more. I guess I would probably ask, like, what's the strangest thing you've ever flipped? Because that to me is interesting. Like, what's the thing that you're like, I don't even really want to remember that I flipped that, or that's odd, or that's weird. So what would that be? I'll ask you that one now. That's
a good question. Guys, you forgot Josh's contact information, right? Until after he does the show, because I don't want you guys doing some crazy questions. I know you will. No, great guess. Oh, great guess. Sorry, Wade.
Yeah, you're exciting. See, people want you.
Oh,
we're doing it, Wade. Let's schedule it. When you get back, we'll do it.
Okay, we will do it, and I'll save that question until we get back, just to keep you guys on pins and needles.
I'm gonna wear like bright green Nike hoodie though, because that tends to be one of the go-to Wade shirts. So I'm gonna find one, and I'm gonna wear that when and I'm gonna put the bins behind me and everything. It's gonna be all in, man.
Dude, I love bright. Those of you who don't know, I love bright color stuff. I think I may even have that over here. Oh wait, let me see. I have I have this one. I have a bunch of them, guys, but this is one.
There's
of them.
The one right there.
Yeah, it's reflecting the sun, guys. I like to just like soak all that in. I think this helps. But I love bright colors. I'm thinking Ashley. Yesterday. Anyways, she was like, "Hey, you should wear your ramen suit." But then remember, it's sweat. It's a sweatpants and sweatshirt, and it's going to be in Vegas at 110 degrees. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Okay, do you price per book when making someone an offer, or per bundle on textbooks?
So I list on so I do Amazon FBA. So I price the book, and it goes to. So this book will go to Amazon. I don't remember what this book was gonna sell for, but I think this book is like, like maybe a $15 book or something like that, and I price it to Amazon. So when you go on Amazon and search a book, like if you were to search Sailors, Knots, and Crafts in like a week, and you were to see a book there, then and you bought it, it would be my book. So, and then I reprice my books based on, like, I'm pricing stuff. This is one of the other things Wade, I would recommend for summer slowdown, if you're listing stuff for Q4, is price it to sell in Q4. Don't price it to sell in summer slowdown. I don't know if that makes sense, but like winter jackets, I'm getting a lot of offers right now for $10 jackets. But I'm not going to sell them for 10 because I know that the LL Bean puffy jacket that's 180 new will sell for $50 used come November. So I'm kind of listing stuff for there.
Do you get any vintage LL Bean?
So I heard you ask that question last week, and I don't know if I know what vintage LL Bean is actually. So, like, I think all LL Bean looks vintage in some ways. Like, it all kind of has a vintage look. So to me, it all looks the same.
Is there any vintage LL Bean experts in here? Because that's a good question, Josh. That does look all the same. It looks all vintage.
So there's newer tags, there's newer stuff, and I know the stuff that's LL Bean that's made in America is worth more than, like, they used to be all made in America, then they kind of switched it up and we're making a lot of stuff in China, and now there's still some stuff made in America. So how much college student making? So what I would do is I would pay for the book, and then the college student would get 20% of the profit on the book up front. If they wanted, or I'd give them, 15% up front, 20% if they wanted to wait, 10% up front, 20% if they wanted to wait until it sold. Does that make sense? So I'd give them less up front because then I'm taking the risk. So someone asked about repricing stuff on Amazon, I think, and I don't do it enough. So that's my answer. I probably need to reprice my stuff more. I'm actually going to be coming August. There's a new repricer coming out called Jackal, and I'm going to be I'm going to probably buy into that, and then you set parameters. And it actually, I wish there was something like that for eBay where it would like literally reprice your stuff all the time. So it's going off of things you set, so you can say it can't go lower than this and it can't go higher than this, and it's going based on buy box or other people's offers, and you can kind of say, I want to be 5% higher than everyone else's. You can set it up so like Amazon has what's called long-term storage fees. So August 15th, every book that's been there for 6 months or a year will get charged extra money. So I have to pay to store it there for longer. And so a lot of people, what they're doing right now are liquidating all of their stuff that's been there too long, selling it off cheap. So actually, if you buy textbooks, now could be a good time to go buy textbooks. Kind of a little hack if you're buying textbooks for school, because some people like me are trying to sell books that have been there for more than a year, and they're knocking the price down a little bit. So
that is a good, except guys, Amazon's website needs to be working when you do this.
Yeah, I heard they crashed. I didn't even go on it, but I heard they blew up. So these right here, I'm going to go back, but these right here, I think what everyone's talking about, bean boots right here. These things are beautiful right here. Do you own a pair of these, Wade?
Bean boots. I would love a pair of bean boots.
What size are you?
I'm a size, well, it depends, but primarily 10.5. I do wear 11s occasionally, but
I'll track you down some bean boots sometimes.
Oh, let me know. I'll pay for shipping. I actually love the look of those, by the way.
Yeah, these are great. So people are talking about these, and these are the insulated one. These are more vintage. So these are insulated with the Thinsulate. So these are actually really warm. I have a pair of uninsulated, and like you just wear wool socks. But
what are you? What are those going for, by the way, Josh?
I actually don't even know. I haven't even listed them yet. These were part of that. I bought a huge lot of stuff. I would say they probably will sell for 50 to 75, maybe. I could be off on that. Brand new, they're insulated like that. They're $250.
Jeez. Do you prefer FBA or fulfilled by merchants?
Yeah. So FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. I've done strictly FBA. Well, I started with FBM. And if you're thinking of going into Amazon, I would maybe encourage you to do a little FBM, because what I would do is because feedback is kind of important on Amazon. It's not as important as on eBay, but it is somewhat important, and it's really hard to get feedback. So like I have 19 positive feedbacks on Amazon, and I've sold hundreds of items because people see Amazon as this huge store. They don't see it as like a person. But when you sell FBM, you can actually, like, on the invoice, you can't put like a thank you like you do with eBay, but you can just write thanks, and I got a lot of feedback. So I started with FBM, have done all FBA, but I just got a 20-foot storage container out in my driveway. And I'm actually going to be putting up shelves this week and going to be hoping to get around 1,000 to 1,500 FBM books over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll be going to fulfillment by merchant just to try to make, earn a little extra money. I'm already shipping stuff every day for eBay. So why not ship for Amazon too? So
makes sense.
Target price. I try to do less than, so Amazon, usually my rule of thumb is Amazon's going to take about 1/3 of the profits from a book. So if a book's $30, they're going to take 10. So I want to try to buy it for less than like 30%, 33%. I want to try to pay about 25% of that. So I'd like to pay about $8. If a book's then I'll make 12 on it, but I'd really like to be more like $2 or $3. So like this book right here was $2. Or this book right here on Argentina, I think it's, Amsterdam. This book was $3 and it sells for 75. So it's really hard when you buy a book for $3 and it sells for 75 to want to buy a book for $2 that sells for 13. So part of it's such as you get spoiled. So
now, correct me if I'm not an Amazon. I sell on Amazon, but I'm not a crazy expert in it. So I would assume that a lot of times when you're getting ungated in different categories in Amazon, your feedback is definitely a factor in that. I mean, I know that I could be wrong, obviously. Ask somebody that's more fluent in it. But when you try to get ungated, it pretty much gives you a response right away. I wonder if the feedback that you have on Amazon plays a role in that. So
I'm not 100% sure. I know a big thing is sales. And I would recommend if anyone is thinking about, if you're even thinking about getting into the Amazon game for Q4, you need to sign up tonight and you need to list stuff and start selling stuff, because it's like, did you do it last year on Amazon, Wade, or not?
I was really small in it. This year I'm going to do a lot more. Obviously, this year I'm going to load up on fingerlings,
Pretty much what they do is they don't allow you to sell toys or certain categories if you haven't sold X amount of stuff by a certain day. And so for a lot of people, if you're just getting in, you want to actually get some sales, even to lose money, like not lose a lot, but even to break even. Because if you can get into toys, like last year I got an email, I think it's around September, and it says, because you've sold over X amount of dollars, you can sell in the toy category for Q4 if you keep your matrix up. And so if your numbers are too low and you're not selling, they don't let you sell toys or certain things. So if you're sitting there going, I think I want to do Amazon, pull the trigger now, or you're going to sit there in November when everyone's showing their pictures of all their income, wishing you would have done it.
Yeah,
you heard it first on Wade's Ventures.
Oh, there we go. But you got to subscribe to his channel, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of this. It's super easy, guys. Like, so you sign up on Amazon. Oh, it's already scanned it. Wow. I'll give you a quick tour. So you download the app. This is the app here. And literally, just like eBay, you click the little, the little camera up here on the right-hand side. And you scan. The cool thing about Amazon is it can scan the actual product. So it doesn't need to necessarily scan the barcode a lot of times. You can just scan the product. It pulls it up, the listing. Then you click what listing it is. And it will tell you exactly, unless you adjust the price when it's there, it will tell you exactly what the fees are. Oops. What the fees are and what it's selling for. So the lowest price is $9 on this. You got a $1.35 fee. Your gross proceeds are $7.65. That's it. And like literally, I almost think that Amazon is easier than eBay. And I can, again, I'm talking FBA, where you just like grab a product, scan it in, print the label, send it in. I almost think it's easier than eBay.
Yeah, I would say it's eBay. Amazon's way easier. You don't have to take a picture. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to write a description. You literally set a price and let it go. Now there is, I like people. And so for me, I enjoy the customer service aspect of eBay and building relationships and that kind of thing. So there is a realness to the eBay world, and the Poshmark is even more so. Amazon's a little sterile, but if you're looking simply for, and if you're space limited, like a lot of people don't have space for inventory. If you're space limited, these books came in. I got these books at a book sale on Friday and Saturday, and they would have been out yesterday, but we hit some snags, but they'll be out tomorrow and they'll be out of my house until forever. I'm not going to see them again. And so if you're space limited, Amazon's definitely a way to look into it. There are definitely some people to watch online. You can figure it out and learn about Amazon and how to make it happen. So just don't buy any programs. Don't buy any programs. Don't buy any programs to learn how to do Amazon. It's all free online. Don't get any gurus telling you how to do it for $100 a month. I'll tell you for free what I know. And so don't go out there because if you type in how to sell on Amazon in YouTube, you're going to find a guy who's going to be like, I know the way. I made $8 million. And he probably did, but he's now making 20 million selling his junk to you. So,
so two things. And then we've got 3 more questions for Josh. So you guys know that I'm not 100% against paid programming or anything like that, but I can tell you that those of you who've been with my channel for a while, I've had wholesalers contact me, said, hey, we'll give you either free or deeply discounted product to do an unboxing. And although that would be another video, and yes, I would get free products, I actually turned down every single one of them. Just because I want this YouTube channel to be not necessarily, I get that there's super chats and I do get paid on YouTube now, but that being said, I want to make sure that full transparency here. I'm a big fan of doing it without paying any money, and I don't think there's anything that you can find that's free that is, that somebody can offer you that will take your money. So I think it's all the same information gets regurgitated between 100 different people, and you can find this information free. You don't need to pay anybody to do it. And but that being said, I have 3 more questions, and we'll respect your time because I know we're going over, Josh. So my first question is, I know that you're on a few different platforms. So give us any amount that you want, people that you love following on social media. This could be on both Instagram and or YouTube.
Okay. I love following, I don't even know his name. His Instagram handle is btrade111. I don't even know the guy's name. He's out of Chicago, but he's Amazon and eBay reseller. So btrade111, I think is his name. I love following Ashley, Hustle at Home Mom, I think is what it is. Like her stuff the first year was like gold to me. The other thing is I don't like, I don't like hype people. They kind of bug me, where it's all about like how amazing they're doing. I like that's one of the reasons I love you, Wade, is like you're just real, down to earth, humble. And so for me, I don't like the people who are hype. So Sam's great, OSS Empire, super humble guy, young guy. And then, there's a few people here in Maine, Rinzy, love connecting with them. Love your channel. I would say Chris, I don't know what he goes by anymore, 10K, daily refinement, whatever he's up to now. Oh, I got to plug my computer in. Hold on a second. Chris has been great to follow. Chris thinks at a whole different level than anyone I've ever interacted with, and I love that about him. I loved, and I don't know where he went, but Source It Up. What was his name? You know what I'm talking about, man, because you interacted with him.
Yes. It is Source It Up, actually. Let me see.
Yeah, I loved his stuff, and then he like disappeared. I don't know what happened or what went on, but and I would say, for me, I would say I don't think you want to pay a ton of money to get like a big thing, but I've found it extremely valuable to be part of a couple of VIP type groups. Like I was part of 10K's mastermind group, and for me, it was totally worth the very small fee monthly. And right now I'm part of the Side Hustle Pro group for the VIP there, and like that's really helpful. So I would say I totally agree with you. You don't need to buy something, but I think being part of some of those groups where you get a little more access, if that makes sense. So he got sick. That's someone, Farm Girl, saying he got sick. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
I know that he moved back a lot of his inventory back in the main location, but yeah, I want to reach out to him and see how he's doing.
Yeah, his stuff was so good and so real, like it just was really good. So those would be the main ones for me that I really find value in, that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, the reason I asked that is that there's a lot of people, when I first started reselling, like I found one person that led to another person that led to another person.
Yes.
And that's why I always ask that question, because I kind of want to know, for those who are new to chat that's never been here, they can kind of hear other people. So I think that's really, really cool. Now,
and I think to follow that up, what's really helpful is to know what people are good at. So like if you want to get into the shoe game, there's certain people that are killing it. If you want the books, like there's some people that are just doing awesome at the books. There's some people who get posh. And like, I think that's where, I follow a lot of different people that I'm learning a lot of different pieces from, but then I kind of hone in on those ones that are really good at that. And then just ask them questions for me, just keep asking them. So
now, we actually got, guys, I'm going to put Josh's YouTube link in the description. Please subscribe. Let me know what number you are. But my last question here, Josh, is what is in store for your YouTube channel? Like, I know that you've got a good amount of videos on there now. What kind of approach are you taking with your YouTube channel? What's going to happen in the last part of the year here?
Yeah. So for me, part of the thing, like I love the YouTube, I love doing it. And for me, part of it has been I've had to kind of purposely put it a little on the back burner to get some stuff lined up income-wise, and know that, like you were saying earlier, to say yes to something, you have to say no to something else. And so it was, do I have the time to do YouTube? But what I would really love to do, what my kind of goal with it is 50% the chaos of our family. We have a sign in our house that says some call it chaos, we call it family. And so like, and anyone who's been in our house with our kids, like, so I'd love to showcase like our family and the life of the 8 of us in our house, and then 50% helpful. Like I love what Rag16 said, a lot of eBay resellers are way beyond, and they forget like it's easy to forget a year in, we might throw out like, oh, COG was $5, and people are like, what the heck is COG? Like, I didn't know what COG was 2 years ago. I wouldn't have been able to know, oh, that's cost of goods. What's Q4? I don't know what that is a year and a half ago, so I think being able to hopefully do that. So that's what I'd love to do. That's my hope. So thank you for everyone that's subscribing. Thank you, Wade, for having me on, and make sure, it kind of can seem self-asking if Wade always asks to smash that thumbs up button, but definitely do it. There's been a lot. There's like 59 people watching and only 36. And in my mind, I was homeschooled, and so my math's not that great, but I feel like that there should be a lot more likes there than 36. So to definitely give him some more likes, make sure to keep following his stuff, because Wade, what you're doing is so different than what Chris is doing, but it's so helpful in my mind. It's so helpful to kind of get the little nuggets from people who no one's going to hear from. So love it, man.
Chris is, he has a special place in my heart. We text, and he's the reason I started social media, for those of you who don't know. It was, so people don't realize, but when I first started, really getting into reselling, I didn't know what was going on. And so I actually was part of his Patreon. I paid for his Patreon. And the same day I paid, I asked him a question, and he's like, hey, can I call you in 45 minutes? That was his response. Like, can I call you, your cell phone, in 45 minutes the same day that I signed up for his Patreon? Which to me at that point, I thought was like, what the heck is going on, right? I thought it was so cool. So we talked for over an hour about social media and this and that. And so he's the reason that got me on YouTube. And I always want to ask Josh, like, what would you recommend people that are trying to start YouTube? Like, do you have any, like, if people have a fear of being online, like what made you go over the hurdle to start the YouTube channel?
Oh, I just think do it. And I would say the biggest hurdle, at least in my mind, is I always think there's someone out there that knows better than me and someone who can articulate it better. But I think the unique thing is each person is uniquely wired and gifted and speaks a unique way. Like you said, Chris in some ways is a freak. Like the way he spouts numbers off. When I was part of his mastermind, he'd be like, how much do you need to make? And I'd say X amount. And he'd be like, okay, well, if you do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like you just rattled that off your mind. And so I think there's probably a lot of people that are like that. So just do it. Even if only your mom watches, that's awesome, because your mom's your biggest fan. And so even if I know my mom's my biggest fan and my wife's in second place probably on that. And so I think it's valuable. start with Instagram if you can't. If you're like, I don't want to do the YouTube thing, like start with Instagram and fumble your way through that. But you can do it. It's worth it. And even like you said, it's worth it for your kids just to sit back and do it. So.
Well, big shout out to my amazing admin, Mr. Pac-Man. Thanks, buddy. You're killing it, taking time out of your business to help others. I've said this multiple times. I get way more from this community than I give. I can promise you that. So I really appreciate it, buddy. And guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for subscribing to Josh's YouTube channel. I know that he's going to crush it. Super exciting. I love seeing like families, like the Destroyer family and your family. I love seeing all these really cool families like reselling full time. I think that it takes a special family to do this and do it well. And I think it's really cool that your kids help you out. So I'm excited to see what the next year brings for you. Yeah. And if I can say one thing, I think I'm a good, like, I can judge people really well. And I really like your authentic, you're really authentic. And I think that anybody that has questions, feel free to reach out to him. And especially when it comes to Amazon book game, guys, I think that's a really cool way to make, to get into Amazon, just kind of like how eBay clothing is a good way to get into eBay because it's really low cost on shipping. It's kind of an easy way to get in eBay. I think book game is one way to get in Amazon. So I appreciate you. We'll leave off with the last note of the day, and that is any words of wisdom. Any words of wisdom?
Take care of the main things first. eBay can go away. Take care of your family. Be with your family. Love your kids. You'll find another job if you don't get those shirts listed. The death pile can stay there. Be with your family. Be with your kids. I don't know. For me, that's important.
I think that's huge, guys. I think that's huge. Thank you so much, Josh, for joining. Thank you so much for joining, guys. We have an amazing interview tomorrow. We have possibly one Thursday, and then we'll be going live in Vegas. You'll probably see me with a bunch of other people. But I also want to make sure that we're painfully clear, guys. When we get back, we'll do a reverse interview, Josh and myself. So if you guys have any questions for Josh that you would like him to ask me, don't tell me first. To keep it spicy, send him messages with some questions that you think you should ask. But guys, thank you so much for joining. If I don't see you again and you are going to Vegas, reach out to me. I'm definitely approachable. You can give me a hug, a kiss on the cheek if you want, or even a handshake. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for joining, guys.